Yep, JP and Mackenzie Dern,
Yeesh.
2025. Hmm.
You never know.
JP is happily married. But like JP said himself, you never know. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode here on Locked Door MMA. We're your hosts. I'm Brevin. This is my good buddy JP, and we are so excited to be back with you guys for another great year of fights. First video of 2025. I don't think we could be more excited. We had a few weeks off of the UFC altogether, a few weeks off of making content, besides a few TikToks here and there. But we're back. We're back for good. I think we got a long couple of weeks with UFC fights every single weekend. I'm stoked for it. I know JP is too. Before we dive into it, we just want to say thank you guys for sticking around, sticking with us. Let's build this year as big as we possibly can. Let's surpass 200 subscribers. That would mean a lot to us, and then keep building from there on the way to 500. That would be the end goal, not the end goal, but our main goal for 2025. I think we can do it. Just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's free to do. Smash it. Build us up like old Vex Bolts did on TikTok. That was interesting to watch these past couple of weeks. But without further ado, let's dive into it. We have a first fight night of the year back at the Apex. I think they're still ongoing some of the renovations. I don't think they're completely done. Probably just working around them. But I'm excited for it. Small cage, JP's favorite. He likes small things. Kicking us off, Joe Solecki versus Nurullo Aliev. JP, I'm sorry, I didn't even give you a chance to speak.
Oh, no. Trust me, I'll blabber enough. I will blabber enough. I did not
He
leave
is
that
the Yap God.
in 2024. 2025 will be another Yap year. Okay? First full year. And you're saying I like small things. Tell you one thing that ain't small. Fucking main event, pal. Okay? Oh, let's dive into it. Nurulu, Rolo, who cares? Nurulu Aliev versus Joe Solecki.
Yeah, man. EV. Starting with an EV. I think you guys, if you attended class last year, are gonna know probably who we're gonna side with. I mean, Aliev, he's very, very similar to how Habib used to fight. I mean, their styles are just so similar. It's like looking into a mirror. I don't think he's as skilled, but he's young. He's 24. He probably isn't as strong and as dominant as someone like Habib once was. But if you guys want to imagine Habib's fight style, that is who this guy is. He's going to press forward. He's going to press you up against the cage. He's going to look to take you down and just maul you and just control you. I mean, he's another one of these guys with just very strong back muscles. He can just pull your legs out from underneath you, get you down on the ground, and then just control you the whole 15 minutes or however long the fight goes. I mean, the dude's got a ton of wins by decision because he will just hold people down on the ground. Solecki, nothing impressive on his end. He recently got beat by Grant Dawson, who was able to control him, wrestle him, and out grapple him as well. And I would argue that Aliev's an even better grappler, even better wrestler. So I'm gonna go with Nurullo Aliev to kick us off for 2025.
Yeah, man. Solecki got it was on that card where there was 2 slam KOs. Solecki was one of them by Drakkar Klose. He's a jiu-jitsu guy, so he throws up a lot of subs. Like you're saying, how do you say his nickname? Tajik?
Yeah, Tajik.
The Tajik Eagle? So, I mean, there's a Habib comparison, and like you're saying, yeah, I like a young Habib. He's still learning. He's growing. His striking's decent enough. I like his defense. His offense kind of cheeks. He kind of lunges in, exactly like Habib. Yeah, dude, he collects the legs well. I mean, phenomenally. And then he'll lay on top of you. People are like, oh, he's this grappling guy. He doesn't have any submission wins. Because he just lays on top of you and beats the shit out of you. He just beats people up. And Solecki, I mean, being the jiu-jitsu guy he is, I don't want to say he's going to accept being on bottom, but he'll go there. See if he can throw up some subs. Watch for him to pull a gilly, but in Aliev's last fight, he was in a deep gilly, didn't put him away. So I wouldn't be shocked he pulls a gilly, doesn't get it on his back, gets beat up. I mean, Grant Dawson did it to him, like you were saying. I think Narulu does it too. So yeah, I'm going Aliev.
Now, the other thing that Solecki you need to keep an eye on with him about is the heel hooks, the ankle locks. Like he will go for the legs quite a bit. However, when you do that and you fail, you're in a very compromised position. I think Aliev's just going to be able to take advantage of that, and then ultimately control him. I don't see the fight going any other way. If he does lose, he would just get clipped because his striking's not great, and he throws these looping left hooks to get into the pocket to find the takedown. And if it was to happen like that, good for Solecki, but I just don't see it going that way at all.
Hmm.
All right, moving up the card, we've got Victoria Dudakova going up against Fatima Kline.
Two ladies we've seen before. Fatima's her debut, I believe, right? When we picked her. Well, I think I picked her. I think you picked Jazz Vicious, right?
Yeah.
Um, we both picked Dudakova, and she was just that. She was doo. She comes out pretty explosive, pretty quick at the beginning of literally every round, and then halfway through she'll flatten out, gas out so hard. Her strikes are okay. That's her strength is her striking. I just like Fatima, even though I picked her once and it didn't go my way. I think Jazz Vicious is a much tougher out than Sam Hughes, which is who Dudakova lost to. I want to say a lot has changed from what we learned in 2024 for UFC. My feelings on Sam Hughes is not one of them. Okay. I feel the same about Sam Hughes. She is trash. I like Fatima's grappling. She's quick in transitions real fast. And I like her movement more, her striking. I think she should be able to do it. I'm taking Kline over Dudakova.
Yeah, I mean this one's very difficult because they're very inexperienced inside the UFC. Fatima, I think she may have stepped in on short notice against Jazz Vicious as well.
Yeah,
Didn't look that great. And some of the competition that she's fought over in what is it, the LFA?
I think so.
No, in the IFC. There's the IFC. Like it's just not good competition. I don't disagree that she's very skilled. She does have good jujitsu. Dudakova, on the other hand, pretty decent striking, good wrestling. One thing that I found fairly interesting is Kline's coming down to 115, two straw weight, to fight Dudakova. I don't really know what to make of this fight, to be very honest with you. I've been very back and forth just because of the fact that Dudakova is currently like a plus 500 underdog. And
Mm-hmm.
there's her entire career, she's been the minus 800, minus 900 favorite like without a doubt. And I just don't know what that's telling me. I really would love to take a chance, and I probably will, and bet on Dudakova. I think the striking, the overall skill set probably will be with Fatima Kline. Originally, I think I have in my notes that I'm going to pick Dudakova. I'm going to switch it. I think Fatima Kline probably is the more skilled girl, but my money will be on Dudakova just at that line. I can't let it go by. And these women's fights, the underdogs honestly win more than the favorites, so something to keep an eye out for. I'll pick Fatima Kline for the sake of my prediction. However, keep an eye out for Dudakova to win a decision, either by taking her down and controlling her or just outstriking her.
Yeah, the minus 800 line is just what has she done to warrant that in the UFC? I don't care what she did before.
She has a loss.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't blame you. Line's terrible. Line is terrible, and you guys might realize that because it's not anybody. Oh,
And I
what were
will
you there?
say, I will say one thing, dude. I put quite a bit of money on Dudakova back in the day when she snapped that girl's arm on a takedown. And I will never be able to get that vision out of my head when I saw that girl's arm
Yeah,
completely
that's
inverted. The
disgusting.
elbow was dislocated. It was the most disgusting thing ever. And I was like, wow, this Dudakova chick, she's the real deal. Made some money on her then. I just can't pass up an opportunity to throw some money on her at plus 500.
I don't blame you. I do not blame you. Yeah, those lines, they definitely should not be that wide. It is a much closer fight than what those fucking lines say.
I've already spent way too much time talking about it, but like, let's not forget she did go to split decision against Sam Hughes. What happens if she was to have won that fight? Then she's still undefeated. Now she's still the prospect that she once was.
It
Now
was
what
a
are the
close fight.
lines?
It was a close fight.
Like, I don't know what they're really taking into consideration when setting that line. Fatima Klein's just not a minus 800 at all.
Mm, I agree. I agree. First trash line of the night. We'll see if there's more. Next one, Magomed Gadshiyasulov and Bruno Lopes.
Yeah, this one's gonna be interesting. Gadshiyasulov, we call him Godzilla back when he fought last. Did okay in his UFC debut. Came out, beat Brenson Ribeiro, majority decision. I wasn't like hyper impressed with him. I think he had a lot of hype and potential behind his name coming into the UFC, and then the win against Ribeiro was just kind of eh. Bruno Lopez, same thing. Not really a guy that has a lot of hype behind him. LFA, it is what it is. He was 3-0 and then came onto the Contender Series, went 1-1. Obviously won his most recent Contender Series fight. That's how he got back into the UFC, or got into the UFC, I should say. But I just don't think matching him up against Magomed is going to be the best for him. That's a very tough first fight, honestly. Magomed's got very good offensive wrestling. He's got power. He's a good counter striker. He's got skills on his feet. I think he's going to be able to kind of take the fight where he wants to take it. I'm picking Magomed. Jeez Louise. Gadshiyasulov to get it done on Saturday.
It's always like one of the three though. Like Magomed, Magomedov.
Magomed.
Like there's one dude I was doing research on these fights. I forget who it was, but one dude's name was Gadshiyasulov or some shit. Like what are we doing? I think he summed it up. And again, it's a OVEV thing. I mean, he's got the wrestling. You know, he didn't gas out terribly. And the guy who Lopez lost to in the Contender Series was Brenson Ribeiro. That's a little MMA mathy. Yeah, whatever. But still, I mean, he got finished by him. Ribeiro hit Magomed with some big shots. Almost got him out of there with a calf kick. But I don't see Bruno unless he starches him, which, like, okay. Then cool. But I think Magomed's got more ways to win. I think Bruno's is quality of like opponent that he's faced. Trash. Absolute trash. Give me Magomed.
Yep, I agree. All right, moving up the card. Ernesta Kareckaite going up against Nikolai Caliaria, whatever.
Caliari.
Caliari, Calamari.
Calamari.
It's a fine
I,
Italian restaurant, man.
I like me some good calamari. Okay, I'll tell you what. But if you overcook it, then it's just like you're chewing on a tire. Okay. You said the other one was tough. This one I feel like is tough for me because I believe Ernesta's going to be much bigger, right?
Huge. Dude, she's like
5'9". Jesus. 5'9", 71-inch reach.
at 125. Like she is straight. She's like Wembenyama, bro. I'm like looking at her compared to the
Yeah.
other girls fighting. She looks like Victor Wembenyama.
And she's fucking ripped too. She's good kickboxer, good boxer. She's got good stand up. I think she's got good enough takedown defense. Okay, because Nicole Caliari, whatever, Calamari is mainly going to look to wrestle, mainly going to look to grab.
Mm-hmm.
I think personally that how do you say her last name? Kareckaite, some shit like that. I think Kareckaite is gonna have the advantage on the feet. How can you not? All she's got to do is just plot something out there. I don't think this Calamari girl is good enough on the feet to get around it and negate it. And even if she does get to her, I just can't see her manhandling her and winning it on the scorecards by out wrestling her, out grappling her. I just think Kareckaite's got good enough defense, grapple defense. I think she's way better on the feet, so give me Kareckaite. But again, it is what it is. What are the lines right now? I mean, much closer than the other ones, but yeah, give me the favorite.
Yeah. And I think you have to. She is a much better striker, that kickboxing background. And then Calamari's wrestling, like, even though the numbers say she's a good wrestler, it's actually kind of lackluster as far as her, like, injuries. I just don't think she's going to be able to get into Ernesta to get those takedowns. And then even if she does, Ernesta's so long. We've seen that time and time again. She's very flexible as well. She can get that leg up over your head as she's in the bottom position, and stand back up. So I think she's going to be able to get that done as well. I'm also taking Ernesta. Kareckaite.
Kareckaite. Good old calamari. This one I'm excited for. This will be an interesting fight. Preston Parsons, Jacoby Smith.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this fight. Because Jacoby Smith knows how to make some highlight reels with his hands. This dude is yoked, all right, and he throws bombs. I mean, he reminds me of Joaquin Buckley, the way he throws those hooks coming inside. He can absolutely turn your lights out with one punch. Preston Parsons, he will pressure you. He will look to wrestle you. We saw in his last fight against Oban Elliott, wasn't the best outing for him. The wrestling got stuffed. Anytime that Preston Parsons wrestling gets stuffed, he tends to lose those fights. Kobe Smith, former NCAA wrestler at Oklahoma State. He's got the wrestling background. He's very explosive. He's very strong. I don't think Preston Parsons can wrestle this dude. And if anything, Jacoby's going to wrestle him. He's going to win on the feet. He's going to win on the ground. I've got Jacoby Smith. No matter which way he wants to get it done, no matter how the fight goes, I think he's more versatile and more skilled all the way around.
I like that you brought up the Oban Elliott fight because that was Oban's first fight that people are like, oh shit, he's got good takedown defense and he looks pretty nice. And then the second fight, he obviously beat the shit out of the other guy, but it showed you what happens when Oban can't fucking get a takedown. Or Oban. It shows you what happens when Preston can't get a takedown. And Preston Parsons, I mean, when he gets tired, he'll just start fucking shooting terrible shots. Horrendous shots. Jacoby, now granted, we are taking this on short notice. Okay? Jacoby Smith is. Preston was supposed to fight somebody else. The one thing I'm worried about, Jacoby will come forward. I think he'll put Preston on the back foot. Preston does not fight well on the back foot. His stand-up is terrible. He's too patient. Don't like his stand-up. He can get outclassed easily. We cannot, if you're Jacoby, you cannot go out there and just start loading up and try and get him out in the first round and then gas out, because that's what I'm fucking worried about. Granted, he is a wrestler, and he offensively wrestles a lot, so that should help with the gassing out. Like, he should be used to it. That's the only thing I'm worried about, though. Otherwise, yeah, I think Parsons gets outclassed. I think Parsons stinks, personally. And like you said, Jacoby makes highlights. I'm trying to fucking see a highlight. We haven't watched fighting in 2 weeks. Give me Jacoby Smith by KO.
Yeah. I think he can get that done. And like you said, man, if you're worried about the gas tank of Jacoby Smith, I mean, you got to be worried about the gas tank of Preston Parsons. That dude gasses out all the time as well, especially when his wrestling's not working. So, I mean, I think Jacoby Smith could go out there and find that first round KO. And even if he does get tired, Preston Parsons is going to be right there with him. And then they're still on an even playing field. And I think Jacoby's more skilled. So I don't think any way that fight goes that Jacoby's going to lose it. I like him a lot.
Okay.
All right, moving up the card. Thiago Moises going up against Trey Ogden.
This one is probably the one I was the most back and forth on. So, I don't like Trey Ogden. But if last year showed me anything, I don't know what the stats are, but every time I said I didn't like somebody, then I picked the other person, pretty sure I lost like most of those picks. So I gave Trey a fair shake. All right? Gave him a fair shake. Was watching film on him. Like, whatever. Don't be biased. Just watch it. Trey Ogden is a guy who will do enough stand-up defensively to level change or get you to the ground. And if he does level change and he gets his hands gripped, his hands clasped, or whatever, he'll have nice trips. He's got good ground game. He can take you down. He can do work, looking to submit you. He's not looking to knock anybody out. Thiago Moises, first of all, the competition he has fought in the UFC, stacked. Way better than Trey Ogden's. Okay? He lost to BSD. He lost to Ludwig Kline last time out. Ludwig Kline looked good in that fight. I mean, the BSD thing, take it as you will. Some people don't like BSD anymore because Moicano beat the brakes off of him. I just don't know. To me, the stand-up, it's clearly Moises. Clearly, and I don't think it's close. And then Trey just kind of backs up a lot. So I'm worried about that. Moises will shoot trash takedowns sometimes himself from way too far away. I just don't like when they put their head down and they just kind of barrel in. I don't like it. I hate it. I don't know, man. I don't know. I like Thiago's distance management. I like his striking. I think it goes long. I don't think there's a finish in this one. I don't think Trey Ogden's special enough to get off his grappling in this one. I think Thiago's seen that from people. I think Thiago's good enough to edge it out on the scorecards. I'm going to Alves or Moises. Alves. What the hell?
Alves, man. Yeah, bro. I don't know. This JP guy is saying I'll give Ogden a fair shake. You're still biased. You are still
No. I
biased.
gave him a fair shot. All right.
You're
It's not
so
because they hate.
biased. I know you are still biased by the way you're talking about it. I mean, JP's always hating on Trey Ogden's striking. Comes out against Kurt Hollabaugh, who we thought would have the better striking. Looked fine on the feet. Looked like that part of his game
Fuck.
has improved quite a bit. Then
Fuck
he
Kurt
goes up against
Hollabaugh.
Louis Razabov. All right, Razabov looks like he can knock anybody out. And then Trey Ogden is walking him down. So we always want to hate on Trey Ogden's fucking hands, but they've improved over time. I do think he has better wrestling than Thiago Moises. Moises probably has just a pure jiu-jitsu advantage over Ogden, but Ogden is not a slouch whatsoever. Ogden has a good ground game as well. And so if you're going to talk about maybe a guy's going to rely on their jiu-jitsu and it's going to get them into trouble because they're accepting laying on their back, I think that's Thiago Moises. I think Ogden's going to be able to walk him down. I think he's going to be a little bit stronger than Moises, take him down and control him, similar to the Aliev fight in the very first one of the night. I've got Trey Ogden, my first underdog of 2025. I think he can get it done. He's proved a lot in the past two fights. I will say that. The striking's improved, and he has very high fight IQ, which I love. And yeah, JP mentioned Thiago Moises, been in there with some great guys. You could put me in there with all these wonderful guys. I can lose, and then you're going to say, oh, yeah, but Brevin's fought the best of the best.
Oh, Lord.
What are we talking about? I mean, he did nothing against some of these guys, got his ass kicked against Benoit Saint Denis. He throws very low volume. I don't think it's enough to get Ogden out of there. And I don't think it's enough to deter Ogden from walking forward, marching him down, and getting a takedown. Give me Trey Ogden.
I mean, watching the Loic Rajavov or whatever his name is fight back, that was a pathetic display of strike. Because Ogden ain't walking nobody down, first of all. Okay? That man's on the back foot 94% of the time. And Loic was just terrible. That was so terrible to watch back. He's reaching and then he'd clinch with him. Dog shit. You can't clinch with a guy who's better at clinching. Is that the first one? Opposite?
Yep.
Oh. First one and only dog so far. Kind of nuts. We'll see how it goes moving up. Next one. Marco Tulio versus Ihor Potieria.
Yeah, Tulio is a prospect coming off the Contender Series. He was 2-0 on the Contender Series. First time, didn't really do enough. Went back to the LFA, got another nice win, came back on the Contender Series. Then he hit a beautiful John Jones-esque spinning back kick to put his fighter away. Beautiful to watch. I do think he has the skills to defeat a guy like Ihor Potieria, who's kind of turned into a tough guy, kind of is in there with these guys that pick him apart. He takes, unanimous decision losses here and there. Hasn't really done anything for himself, and I think they're just using this as a pedestal and a step ladder to build up my boy, Marco Tulio. Give me Marco Tulio. I think he gets it done. Probably is going to stay standing, if you ask me, but just he's more skilled on the feet.
Um, Ihor's one of these guys that's like, just like experienced, and like he learns decently well. So like he always looks a little bit better in his next fight. But I mean, Marco is great at he'll take the center and he's gonna put the other guy on the back foot. He's fucking massive, and the dude throws bombs. Ihor, I mean, there's a couple times where he'll drop his hands, he'll get a little wild, but then he'll throw that fucking spinning back kick and land it right on the liver. Fight's over. So like, in my mind, you said it stays standing. I think Ihor will try at times to take it to the ground. I think Marco's got good enough in the clinch, stuff a couple takedowns. I think it's the same issue with Jacoby. We can't gas out. We cannot gas out. I don't think Ihor necessarily has a problem with gassing out, but Marco, we can't load up. We can't gas out. I think he is better. He's way more powerful. If Ihor lets him take the center and he's on his back foot the whole time, I don't think Potieria is good enough to land that snipe shot to wobble him and then follow up with strikes to get him out. Because with Marco, it takes one or two, and then you're wobbled, you're running, and he's throwing wild shit you don't see coming, and when it lands, you're going to bed. And that spinning back kick he landed was, oh god, disgusting. Folded the dude right away. Yeah, I like Marco. I'm gonna back you. Take Marco.
All right. We're back on the same side. Love to see it. Next fight, Jose Johnson taking on Felipe Bunes.
Oh, battle of the twigs. This one. Both guys are decently tall. Jose Johnson's freakishly big for this fucking weight class. 6 foot with a 71.5 inch reach. It's literally the same size I am. And this dude fights at fucking 126, 125. Twig. Literal twig. You could snap him in half. He's quick. He's got a Muay Thai stand-up style. Good in the clinch, good knees. I mean, he can do a couple trips. He went all 3 rounds with Asu Almabayev, our boy. Almabayev's a pressure wrestler that will just fucking stay on you, stay on you, stay on you. And he was the much smaller guy, so like the women's fight we're talking about earlier, it can be done to beat the bigger person in the striking, but it's just really hard. You got to be a real high-level grappler to be able to close the distance and not get caught with anything as you're changing levels. But Felipe's not bad. But, I mean, his last fight was, what, I think exactly a year ago. Yeah, 11 months, 1 week. He fought Joshua Van, got folded, gassed in that fight. His striking isn't terrible, but when it gets late in the fight and he starts getting hit a little bit more, it's very visible to see the effect it's taking on him. I feel like in all of his fights, he gets hit. You can tell he doesn't like that. Some people are better at masking it than others. I don't think he's good at it. I think it's going to stay on the feet. I mean, Felipe's got some jits off his back. I just don't think he has the wrestling to dominate him like Almabayev does. And it's not like Jose, got the shit kicked out of him per se, and went to the bell all bloodied up and everything. So I think Jose Johnson's good enough. I think he can do it. I think he takes it on the scorecards.
Yeah, I agree. I like his height, his reach in this one. He's quick. The only thing to watch out for is Felipe's grappling. I mean, he's got pretty good jiu-jitsu. We've seen Jose be prone to some good grapplers in the past. I mean, he's lost by Twister. That always sucks, right? So it's something to keep an eye out for. But overall, I think he's a little bit more well-rounded in my book. I think he's going to have the speed, the length, the size to win this fight. Give me Jose Johnson as well. All right, next fight up on the card, we have Euros Medic going up against Panahele Soriano.
Una, little island boy.
Una.
Una, the island boy from
Yeah, we don't
Oahu.
mess with the island boys.
Okay. Um, Puna. Puna's okay. Puna's Puna's gonna stand in front of you, try and be defensively sound with striking, and then he's gonna level change, and then he's gonna come out next round. He's gonna do it again. He's gonna come out next round. He's gonna do it again. Um, these Hawaiians, man, Hawaiians, Australians, they're tough, dude. You can hit them, big shots. They'll still be in your face. You got to put their lights out completely. He's got good submission defense too. Really good submission defense. He's just looking to be on top and beat you up. Uros Medic. Love his striking. He will mix it up beautifully. Off the back foot, on the front foot, does not matter. On the cage, I don't want to say phenomenal. Pretty damn good takedown defense on the cage. Okay, and then the scrambles. Uros Medic, I like what he does. It's just a matter to me if he puts it all together in that night, you know? I don't think Puna has the skills altogether, striking and grappling, because I think that's what it's going to take. Or you got to finish Medic, and I don't think Puna can do that. I see him not getting outclassed, but just getting beat. I don't see him having success with the takedowns. He might get 1 or 2, but he's going to have to shoot damn near 8 of them to get him on the ground. Does that happen? If it does, I think Uros gets back up. I don't see Puna dominating him on the ground. I'm taking Medic.
Yeah. Euros Medic. This dude has a lightning fast left hand. Think of Steve Garcia and all my snipers that I have in my nice little collection of locks. The left hands from God. He is one of them. Very, very good striking, very slick, fast, comes out of the blue, and he will turn your lights off as well. Like JP said, Puna, he will come forward. He will be in your face. He will be one of these guys that's like, hey, let's brawl. I just don't think that's a great recipe against a guy like Medic who can turn your lights out. Anytime Euros has fought somebody that's purely looking to brawl, stand in front of you, swing big, and isn't just like a straight jiu-jitsu guy, he's won, found a lot of success. The only times he hasn't done well is when a guy's able to get him down to the ground and submit him. That may be his downfall. Penuele is not that guy. He doesn't have that background. Sure, maybe a little bit of skills there, but not to the level of what it would take to get Medic out of there. I think Medic has his way on the feet, probably finds a KO. I'm also taking Euros Medic,
Oh,
the doctor,
the
the
doctor
love doctor.
over the Puna. Fuck out my way, Torta. All right, next one. I'm glad I don't have to go first with this one. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this. Austin Bashi versus Christian Rodriguez. And another thing that I might add, we forgot to say it at the beginning of the show. Okay. I'm excited to hear your thoughts on this because Brevin is another year older. Oh, happy belated birthday to the Moser man. Another year older, another year wiser. Dude's pushing 30, almost over the freaking hill at this point. What do you think?
You know, this one's going to be interesting. Everyone knows Christian Rodriguez was the guy that fraud checked Raul Rosas on his rise to stardom. Obviously, Raul's kind of bounced back since then. However, they're always giving these young prospects to C-Rod to see what he can do. I mean, Christian Rodriguez, pretty well-rounded. Good striking, good grappling, good wrestling. It's all there for him, but it's not at the level that he would need to make a run inside the featherweight division. Austin Bashi, another prospect, excuse me, that another prodigy and prospect combined. It's a product. I don't know what I was saying. All right. He's both of those things. He's 13-0, 23 years old. So he's very young. Talk about me being old. Austin Bashi is not. So I do worry about that a little bit. Maybe the fight IQ needs some development. You worry about his gas tank at times. However, when I compare this solely to the similar situation that we saw with Raul Rosas, I like Bashi's striking a lot better than Raul Rosas's at that moment in time. Raul Rosas didn't have a stand-up game at all. It was purely grappling. And so once Rodriguez was able to put a stop to that, he found success. Bashi, he's got hands, dude, and he's pretty freaking powerful as well. He's knocked people out. He can also win by submission. He can go the distance, win by decision. He has all those things on his resume. For me, he checks all the boxes. He shows his skill sets in all different facets of the game. I do think he has a skill set to defeat Christian Rodriguez. I'm taking Austin Bashi.
Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. All right, I ain't gonna lie to the people. C-Rod, I think he's overrated. After watching him a couple times, the Rahul Rosas win, Isaac Dolgarian. I think he robbed Isaac Dolgarian, and then he goes out and gets subbed by Julian Erosa when we picked him in that one. Yeah, I agree 100% with everything you said. The one thing we got to watch out for is, again, the age. Like you're saying, he's young. Might make a mistake or two, might get antsy, but this kid's got hands, this kid's got grappling, he's explosive, he's strong. I like it. I think he's going to be too much to handle. I think he's going to be way stronger than C-Rod, and I don't think he's going to expect that. He gets his hands clasped. I think C-Rod's going for a fucking ride. Give me Austin.
Yeah. Yeah, this dude's a unit. And like we had said, fighting in the Apex, like, yes, you still have your UFC jitters, but at the same time, it's not in front of thousands. It's not at the MGM. It's not at, Madison Square Garden. It's in the same place that you fought on the Contender Series. So, like, I feel like he's going to be fairly comfortable. I don't think it's going to be anything out of the norm for him. I expect him to get it done. All right. Moving up the card. Chris, the Action Man Curtis, going up against Roman Kopylov.
Good fight here. This is a good fight. I like this fight a lot. Chris Curtis. What's his nickname? The Action Man. Chris, the Action Man Curtis. Sean Strickland's best friend.
Lovers, some would say.
Some might say that. Allegedly. Some may say. Chris Curtis, his last fight out. Was that his last fight? Yeah, his last fight out, Brendan Allen. I believe he did something to his hammy. Popped a hammy? Or something like that.
Sure.
Chris Curtis has got good boxing. He rips to the body really well. He's got good head movement. His takedown defense is actually pretty good. Chris Curtis is not a slouch. He's not bad. He's a tough out. He hits fucking hard. And he's accurate. He's good. He's got good stand-up, decent takedown defense. But that's where he's looking to keep it. He's looking to outbox you. He's looking to just outstrike you. But when it's a close fight and he's got to pull out a win, that's still the only option we have. We're not going to take the guy down and beat him up. We're not going to submit him. We're not going to do anything. He's just looking to stand up and outbox you. And, like, granted, he can do that with some people. Sometimes he gets caught. Kopylov, people are saying Kopylov gets touched. Chris is going to put his lights out. Sure, Kopylov gets touched. Kopylov, in this fight, it basically comes down to, for me, Kopylov's got more ways to win. Kopylov, I believe he's the bigger guy. Yeah, he's slightly bigger guy. He's got a half-inch less reach, but, Kopylov can wrestle. He can do work in the clinch. He can strike with you. I like Kopylov. I know his loss against Anthony Hernandez. people don't like. But I mean, look at what Fluffy's doing. Fluffy beat the shit out of Michelle Pereira. If Fluffy gets his hands on you, takes you down. He's elite at grappling. Chris Curtis is not going to do that. I don't see a world unless Chris Curtis puts his lights out, which if he does, he does. We saw Chris Curtis knock out and not a fucking decision. I'm going Roman Kopylov.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to agree with you on this one. I do worry about the boxing coming from Chris Curtis. He's very sharp. Good power. Kopylov to me though, he's got more skills on the feet. Like his kicks, his hands are really good. I do think he can find the home for his hands in this fight against Chris Curtis. Like I've never been a fan of the guys that just kind of shell up. I really think that exposes you to a lot of different attacks there. Yeah, having the training partner and the ex-lover in Sean Strickland probably helps. But at the same time, Kopylov, very, very skilled. I would love to see him get it done on Saturday. I'm also rocking with Roman Kopylov.
So far, just one against each other, huh?
Yes, sir.
Ray Ogden.
And that's because you're biased. You are
No,
so biased
no,
against
no,
Trey
no.
Ogden.
I gave
We
him
could
a
have the
shot.
same card, JP.
It was close. It was close. I don't know. I think Alves. Why do I keep calling him Alves?
Who the hell is Alves to you,
Shit.
man?
Did I switch the pick? Because I can't even get the fucking guy's name right. Jesus
You don't
Christ.
even know who Ogden's fighting.
I don't even
That's
know
how
who it is.
biased you are.
Trey Ogden's fighting. Don't care. Not picking him. This next one
man.
will also be a good one. Abdul Razak-Alhassan versus Cesar Almeida.
Yeah. Oh man, this is going to be an interesting fight. I don't love this line. I will start off by saying that. I don't love the line. Abdul Razak, very explosive, very powerful guy. We saw in his last fight drop Cody Brundage, then started throwing blows to the back of his head. It was ultimately called a no contest. He was gonna beat his ass. He survived a little bit with Joe Pyfer, didn't get knocked out. He did get choked out. I don't know. I like the guy. I really do. He's explosive. I love those guys that they just look like they could take your head off with one swing, which he certainly can. However, Cesar Almeida, very, very skilled kickboxer. He's kickboxed against some of the best. Alex Pereira, he has a win over Pereira. He has some losses to him too. But all those things really add up to very good experience. Like you understand the type of caliber kickboxer this guy is when you throw out some of those names. I'll look for him to keep his range, keep his distance. Really, the only thing to watch out for Cesar Almeida moving forward is a guy that can take you down, control you. As stout and as explosive as Al Hassan is, I just don't like the fact that he won't throw a lot of takedowns in there into his game. He's just kind of hunting the head. You don't want to do that against a guy as sharp and as skilled of a kickboxer like Cesar Almeida. I'm going with Cesar Almeida. I just don't love the line.
Yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I mean, it sums it up perfectly. Abdul, yeah, I mean, the dude's awesome to watch fight. And we picked him in the Cody Brundage fight. And he throws fucking bombs. He throws hard. Caesar's made quite literally a fucking career out of people trying to take his head off. I mean, he fought Alex Pereira twice. Beat him once. I don't care if it's a long time ago. I mean, he's been a high-level kickboxer for a long time. Even if Abdul, let's say he does try and take him down. I mean, in every one of Caesar's fights, people have tried to take him down. Ihor Potieria tried to take him down that entire fight. So yeah, Caesar doesn't have phenomenal takedown defense. It's improving, just like Pereira's is, because he is a sparring partner and a training partner of Alex Pereira now. I mean, I think he has the skills to stay away from that part. I'll tell you right now, I think it goes long, and I think Caesar just outpoints him, outstrikes him. I don't want to say beats his ass. I think Abdul's got decent defense, but I think he's just going to load up for that one shot and constantly look for that one shot. Can't do that with Caesar. I think he goes long. And all of this, and Abdul's 39, almost 40. I mean, how much longer can you
Yeah,
do this? And you're a one trick pony, kind of. Yeah, give me Cesar Almeida.
yeah. Can't blame you there. All right. Moving up the card, Santiago Ponzinibbio going up against Carlston Harris.
I was watching film on this. I know who Ponzinibbio is. We all know who Ponzi is. He's been around forever. Been there, done that. Fought everybody. I tried to give Carlson a fair shake on film. The dude can't throw a fucking right hand. The dude throws like a smacking right hand, like a lever right hand. You like put it out and then slap it at you. I hate that. Cannot stand that. Don't like his movement. Don't like his striking. I don't think he's gonna ragdoll Ponzi. Uh, I just don't like Carlson's style at all. I'm taking Ponzi, and I'm taking Ponzi with a win, and I think he retires. I think he runs off into the sunset on a win.
Think he retires on a win, huh?
That would be the time to do it in my eyes. You know.
Dude, I mean, let's not forget the fact that Ponzinibbio hasn't won a fight in years.
Good point.
JP, what year is it, my friend?
It is 2025.
The last win for Ponzinibbio took place in 2022 against Alex Morono, who's nothing short of dog water. I don't love it at all. And then before that, he was on a little skid. Yeah, I think Carlson Harris has the skill set to get it done over a guy like Santiago Ponzinibbio. Now, I'm not disagreeing with some of the points that JP made. However, what has Ponzinibbio done? What is he going to bring to the table? This, if we want to continue saying the poop bowl, might be my poop bowl of the night. I don't like either one of these fighters.
Oh, it's
You're right.
100% the
Ponzinibbio,
poople.
Ponzinibbio needs to retire. Carlson Harris, like, he has some good wins here and there, but then he takes some losses. I don't know. It's a pick 'em right now. I'm going with Carlson Harris. JP can have Ponzinibbio. One of us has to be right. We'll take it.
I don't understand why this is a co-main right now. Put Chris Curtis and Kopylov in this spot. 'Cause this fight fucking
At
sucks.
least. Or even Cesar Almeida.
True. Either one of the fucking two before this. I mean, this fight.
Yeah.
Put this fight like at the end of the prelims. Ugh. Don't like it. You know what I do like? Is this main event. Okay? This is high quality entertainment right here. Some people don't like this being the first fight of 2025. I ain't got a problem with it, pal. Okay? I'll happily sit on the couch and suck down a couple Topo Chicos and watch it, all right? Mackenzie Dern and Amanda Ribas in the rematch.
Yep. JP and Mackenzie Dern.
Yeesh.
2025.
You never know.
JP is happily married. But like JP said himself, you never know. You just never freaking know.
We can all
That's
be
the
friends.
beauty of life.
We can all be friends.
Hey, I'm sure his wife wouldn't even mind. All right. I'm just throwing that out there in the universe. 2025, let's make it happen. Mackenzie Dern, Amanda Ribas. Yeah, good matchup. This is the second time they fought. Ribas got the better of Dern in the first matchup. Now, Mackenzie Dern has come a very long way. The striking, the hands, much, much better from their first fight. Even from her last three fights. Like, I'm talking, she's making progress very quickly currently. Like, this isn't just something that's happened over time. Like, she is just developing so freaking fast inside of the UFC. I love to see it. And I always talk about like it is hard to beat the same person twice. They understand you, they know what your game plan is, they've felt your power, they probably will be less, you know, afraid, especially if they didn't get finished by you, or get knocked out by you. So that makes it very difficult. However, after looking at all the tape that I possibly could, I do personally think that Amanda Ribas has enough skills to beat Mackenzie Dern still at this given point in time. They're both really good at jiu-jitsu, both have judo backgrounds. The hands to me are still in favor of Ribas. I'm gonna have to go with Amanda Ribas.
Oh, yeah. The point you made about her hands before in their first fight, Mackenzie's hands were terrible, atrocious. I also think Amanda has a lot of wasted movement on the feet. She's just constantly moving like a fucking rabbit. They both got jiu-jitsu, both judo. I mean, exactly what you said to a T. That just sums it down perfectly. And then in the back of my head, and you fucking said it. You literally just said it. In the back of my head, I heard you say it's hard to beat the same person twice. And I was like, good point. 2025, Mackenzie Dern in the best shape of her life. Like, she's looked better and better every fight. That's not in the way that you think I'm meaning that, okay? I'm truly saying.
Sure.
I'm truly saying she's in the best shape of her life. She looks like she's taking it serious. Her hands have come a long way. Revan's voice in the back of my head, it's hard to beat the same person twice. With that being said, I think Amanda Ribas wins it again. I don't know. I think her striking is just straighter, more down the line. Mackenzie's come a long way, but again, there's times where she gets boom, boom. She'll get clipped in the 1-2, and then she'll throw some wild ass fucking overhand as she's falling backwards. What are we doing?
And I just think the skill set, like the stylistic skill set for this fight, really is in the favor of Ribas because you're right. The judo, the jiu-jitsu, I do believe they're going to cancel each other out. And then so we're just going to rely on who's the better striker. And I still think it's Ribas.
She didn't people are like, Mackenzie's so good at jiu-jitsu, which so is Ribas, but she didn't use it at all in the first fight. So what is she going to do? Come out this fight and just dominate her in grappling? If she does, she does. I don't see it. Mackenzie, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. It's nothing personal. All right, nothing personal. We can talk about it. All right, when you get home, we can talk about it. I'll smooth things over. But I'm taking Ribas.
I'm sure you will smooth things over. Have a chat with your current wife and the old Dernster, and I think things will be okay. All right. That does it for the card, but that doesn't do it for the show. Y'all already know. If you don't know, now you know. This is Locked Door MMA's lock of the night. JP, who do you have for your first lock in 2025?
25. First full year. Very exciting. Very exciting. Also, we haven't mentioned up to this point, we're resetting the records. Okay? Resetting. Swear to God, if we get robbed, first fight card of the year. Oh man. But my lock. Talked about it earlier. Both gonna want to strike. One dude throws bombs. The other dude has quite literally made a career out of beating people like this. Give me Cesar Almeida to beat Abdul Razak. It will be close. I kind of agree with you with the line. Shouldn't be 3-1, but I do think Cesar will win it. I think it goes long. I think he outpoints him, but give me Cesar Almeida.
Yeah, I love it. I think that line should be very similar to the line for my lock. My lock is a guy that has a left hand that fires like a piston. It can turn your lights out quicker than you could believe. Give me the doctor, Uros Medic, to get it done. I think he finds a home for that killer left, puts the lights out of his opponent, and gets a KO victory. Honestly, that's a pretty good line odd right there. Are the odds for the lock, the first lock of 2025. I love it. But it's not even about the lines, man. I tell JP all the time, don't worry about the lines. If it's fucking minus 900, if it's a lock, it's a lock.
Hey.
Let's take the locks, man. That's what it's for.
That's one thing that has been left in 2024. Okay. Forget about the lines. Okay, because they move so much anyways from the time of like when we come out, because like you know just as well as I do, like Saturday morning, if you're betting an hour before the fights go off, oh my god, that's when the most money's flown in. The lines are fluctuating like crazy. You know?
Yeah.
Hey, first lock of 25, and that shit's smacking.
It's smacking. All right, now it's time for Brevin's basic parlay. I'm giving you guys 3 picks this weekend for all the marbles. You know, this one was interesting because all 3 of these guys are UFC newcomers. First off, give me Jacoby Smith. He's going to get it done over Preston Parsons. Next fight, Naruyo Aliev. The strong wrestling in those 2 fighters, Jacoby Smith, Naruyo Aliev, and for the 3rd fighter, give me Marco Tulio Silva to get it done as well over Ihor Potieria. Those 3 right now are going to put you near even money at minus 112. Those odds probably will move, so make sure to get it in while you can.
3 newcomers. It'll be exciting. All three of the prospects. The prodex. Is that what you were calling it earlier?
The prodigies and prospects, they're prodex. Yep.
I'll join in with group product. You know, I'm in
Right
there.
now.
Hey, now. All right. Juicer time. These lines are weird for this card, okay? And I, shockingly, didn't have a single dog on the card. So, is what it is. But hey, first card of 2025, and me and Brevin are fucking sweeping our bet slate, okay? Jump on. Here we go. Starting the juicer. Like Brevin said, OV, EV. Left some things at 24. Not that. That's sticking with us. All right? Put Narulo Rolo Chocolate Boy. Throw him in there. All right? Magomed Gadshiyasulov. Throw him on top of it. OV, EV. Start the night. Get us on track. First 2 down. Next one. Brevin likes him. I like him. Using Brevin's parlay. Jacoby Smith. There's a chance he puts the other dude's lights out. Dude throws bombs. We just can't gas out. Give me Jacoby Smith. Next one. Told you. I think C-Rod is overrated. Austin Bashi's got hands. He's got strength. He's got wrestling. What more do you need? Give me Austin Bashi. Throw him on there. Next one. Might have to sweat this one out a little bit. This one's going to be a little nerve-wracking. I'm taking Kopylov over Chris Curtis. It'll be a close one, but like we said, we just don't like people who shell up and try and outpoint the guy the whole time. Give us Kopylov, throw him in there. And the last one, I had to do it because he is a stone-cold killer, and he also throws bombs, aka a spinning back kick to the liver. Marco Tulio, throw him in there as well. If you can't tell, we like him a lot. 6 legs, plus 400, and it's smacking, okay? It is smacking.
Yes, it is. I love it. I was honestly going to do a basic with all of the UFC newcomers, but I'm glad you covered our basis inside of the juicer because I definitely wanted to get some action on these new guys because it's probably a really good time to catch a fairly decent line on some of them. I mean, sure, they're going to be stepping up in competition, but I mean, especially for a guy like Bashi, who knows? Maybe his next opponent, he could be a minus 1100.
If he goes out and gets a finish on C-Rod,
Exactly.
could happen.
Could happen. All right, that does it for today's episode. We appreciate you guys. As always, if you haven't already, smash that subscribe button. Let's get to 200 subscribers. That would mean a lot. We appreciate you guys. As always, JP, I will hand it over to you.
Hey, 2025, man. We got, I want to say like 10 weeks, 11 weeks or something. This weekend, next weekend, then we got a weekend off, and then a bunch of weeks after that. So we're excited to be back, man. Our first full year that we're aiming for Locked Door. Last year, we started halfway through the year. This year, first full year, Brevin said it, aiming for 500. But if we can get to 200 before the end of the year, that would be awesome. Hey, man. Jump on the bets now. Jump on the free picks. All right? Put it in the newspaper. Tell your fucking neighbors. Free UFC picks. Okay? Hitting at a 70% clip. Around there. It's close enough. 68. Whatever. As always, ladies and gentlemen, it was a pleasure. Bingo, bango, baby. Hey.